Hey there, everyone. This is Dawn here on my own, just briefly recording my thoughts about the nonverbals we picked up or might have picked up from Charlie Adelson in his case management hearing today on December 16th, 2022. This is not a commentary on the legal side of things. This is just notations about how Charlie looked and appeared and seemed to be as a human being today. And I'm interested in hearing what you think about this. So I'm recording this ahead of time because I want to make sure I have permission to use this from Mentor Lawyer. But if you're seeing this, that means Mentor Lawyer, the rock star attorney who is helping us all so much on YouTube understand the ins and outs of this case, would have given me permission to share this part of the video. So with that, let's take a look at Charlie Adelson. Obviously, he's not saying anything, but surely is saying things with his eyes, with his face, with his body. And I'd like to see what you noticed. So there he is appearing with his attorney who is still dealing with an ankle sprain or a broken ankle, I believe. And Charlie is on his own. We get to take a look back to see who's in the audience behind Charlie. I see only two people there. And here we go, zooming in on Charlie. Right away, I'm going to pause. Did you see that little flinch? That little adjustment of his body, elbows up onto the chair, shoulders up, a little bit of guarding, because now Charlie Adelson is all alone sitting there. His attorneys are up at sidebar, and he's showing a little bit more signs of vulnerability as he notices he's being live streamed, sitting there all by himself, probably feeling a little awkward. I know I would. And so you notice he just adjusted his elbows, lifted up his shoulders a little bit. And that could indicate a lot of different things. What do you think it indicates? Does it indicate fear? Again, I thought it was a little bit of a flinch. That's how I would describe it. I could be wrong. Okay, so now you see he says the behavior panel would point out a little bit of grooming here. Licking his lips, opening his lips, trying to make himself look more attractive, as often we do. We do this obviously unconsciously. He's not consciously doing these things. Now, we notice he's got kind of an irregular blink. I've noticed this about him before. He's certainly not fluttering. I'm not looking at his blink speed, but I'm noticing a little bit of an exaggerated blink and sometimes a squinty blink, what I call a hard blink, and we're going to see that later on. Little double blink there, and then a single blink, and then he turns his eyes toward the camera. He wants to know, is that camera still on me? But he's trying to look inconspicuous. This looks like a kid trying to get away with something, which I'm sure he's probably done this look a lot of times in his life. But it is interesting to see somebody who likes to be in control, not in control, and in this position, isn't it? So I'm thinking, looks like he's wondering, is that camera still looking at me? And he looks over as if the camera's not going to pick this up, which is kind of funny. And he can see, yeah, it is, but he wants to be cool about it. He's not at all showing any kind of a reaction. Okay. Looking away, looking down and right. As we know, down and right generally is emotions accessing. However, in this case, he may just not know where to look, where to put his eyes. Where should I look? I don't want to look at the door. That's where I'm going. I don't want to go back in there. interestingly, we can only say if I were him, right? But interestingly, he's not looking at what's going on by the judge with all the attorneys. He's not looking at what's going on with the sidebar. All right, now you saw that little hard blink just there. And he decided he was going to look a little bit downward. And one might surmise that he might be just thinking. To me, he's still, in my opinion, he's still trying to figure out what he should do in this situation, because he's got the camera on him and he doesn't know what to do exactly. And you just saw that hard blink, which I think is kind of, I don't know, something he might have used with his mommy when he was a little boy. Oh, I'm so sad, I'm going to cry. I don't know. Normal blinking. And again, he's not really looking straight down. And he's got his head slightly to the right, but I would guess that that's because he's over to the left of the bench, the judge's bench, where the sidebar is taking place, and of course where the cameras are. So he's not going to be looking straight ahead. I don't get the impression, however, he's thinking a whole lot. I could be wrong. What do you think? Is he thinking? If you think he's thinking, what's he thinking about? What's going through his mind? Again, this is why I don't think, I believe, it's my estimation that all that he's thinking about right now is that camera. It's awkward. And now it was a hard look, like, I'm just going to look at them and let them know I'm not happy about it. And a little bit of disgust on his face. Now, another thing he might be thinking about is, I really would like to turn around again and get a better look at what I might or might not have seen behind me. Who's there, who isn't there? So I'm just going to act innocent here, look disgusted with the camera, be defiant, and I'm just going to go on ahead and look behind me and see if my mommy's there. And he holds it for a bit to get a good look. A little bit of a mouth opening there. May or may not mean a whole lot. I have some ideas about that I'll get back to later. Again, I'm just recording this briefly before my viewpoint gets tainted by more information. And here again, that hard smile / look of disgust on his face. So now you see the difference, and we'll go back. I'll do some screenshots, one from where he started and one from here. This is about a minute in and 22 seconds of how he's now looking. At first, he was adjusting his arms, a little bit of flinching. Should he look back? Should he not look back? Where should I put my eyes? Now I'm just going to sit here and be who I am. And we know who that is, right? Do we know who that is? Who do we think the real Charlie is right here? And another little bit of grooming there. Mouth grooming, tongue licking his lips. Look, quick glance to the left. I wonder where the cops are. Assessing the situation. As human beings, we do want to know our surroundings. After all, he's been in one place since April. One place only, and that is jail. And so this is one of his few outings. Now, for a couple seconds there, it looked like he might have actually been looking at the attorney's inside bar, but not very, very long. Now we see a little bit of a different look. His eyes started to narrow a little bit, and again, we're seeing the grooming, the lipping. Another glance over by the camera area. There's the hard blink. There we go. Blink, 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 a hard blink. Another hard blink. And I'm not getting the impression this is because of dry eyes or anything like that. I'm getting the impression that this is some kind of a tactic that he's used. Couple seconds there looking ahead at the judge's bench where the lawyers are, but now again over to the right near where the camera is. Has to be awkward. When you think about who this guy is, he fancies himself a charmer, a ladies' man. And look at him now. And another hard blink, looking down, having no focus on the attorneys up front. Now it looks like he's looking their way finally, but you can see even though he's looking their way, his eyes drifted right, and now they're drifting left. So he's probably not thinking about what they're saying up there. He's thinking about something else, my impression. Looking a little bit to the left. Hard blink. Now it looks like he looked up, to me, what this whole last couple seconds was, he was mustering some courage. Okay, I'm going to look that way again. I'm going to look toward that camera, but this time I'm going to be casual about it and cool. Almost a little bit of a grin there. Not much, but it looks like a little bit of a amusement there. Mostly, in my opinion, let me know what you think. He's not amused with the situation. He's amused with himself. Could be wrong. But it didn't last long, did it? Ooh, what's this? That good old tongue rolling over the teeth kind of look. Now somebody's getting a little miffed. And a little followed by that little disgust mouth. He had courage for a second, but he realized it was futile. Let's look again. Who's back there? Who's back there? Is anybody there that I know? Where's my sister? She's a lawyer, isn't she? Are the Markels here? No, they're not. So now he's finally settling in a little bit. He found his sweet spot. Not looking at what's going on at the bench and not looking at the camera. But you can tell he's still not comfortable because of all the eye movement, the odd eye movement. Almost like he wants to roll his eyes, but he can't. My guess is he would love to jump on the cameras or whoever's holding the cameras. Now a big head roll over to the right and looking down again with a little bit of disgust, maybe a little bit of amusement, in my opinion, down into the right, which we know we're starting to access emotions. What do you think the emotions are, though? That's the key. Is it remorse? Is it sadness? Is it anger? Is he trying to control his anger? What would you think if you were just looking at someone who was just started doing this? To me, he seems pretty wound up pretty tight. Playing with his feet a little bit. You can see he adjusted his body. He adjusted his legs there. He wants to look up, but he just can't because there's a camera there. There's just no way to find any peace here, is there, Charlie? Not happy right now, really not happy with the situation. He's there all by himself. His lawyer is up front. And although this was a nice outing for him for a couple of minutes today, this is probably torture for him right now. So he's looking pretty unhappy. Hard blink, sneak his eyes, sneak a look over to the cameras again. Kind of hard to disguise with those big eyes, those big brown eyes. And now he's thinking, maybe I'll just look at my attorneys for a sec. Which, honestly, if I were there, I'd be staring at what those attorneys were doing. I want to know everything. I'd want to be up there. And now they're coming back. So that might have also been an acknowledgement that they were just finishing up. And there might have been a little bit of relief there as well. Sometimes we can learn a lot more when we understand the context a little bit. So with that, I'm just recording my brief thoughts at first this morning. And this video may make its way to you, and it may never make its way to public, but I wanted to do it for posterity. And so I'd love to know your thoughts. Absolutely would love to know your thoughts on what you're seeing, what you saw in terms of nonverbals and body language.